Hey everyone, and welcome to the tutorial video for the AI Behavior Toolkit and the spawn system combined. Get the best of both worlds. So the creator of the AI Behavior Toolkit was kind enough to give me access to the pack in order to make this tutorial. So big thanks to him, link to his work in the description of this video, but you probably already know it, it's a pretty big one. So today is about showing you how I would go about combining these two. So it's a first step into this process, and I hope that after I've shown you this, you'll know where to go next. But at the end of this video, what we will have done is for the example RPG map, like this little town we have here, I will have shown you how to combine this into the spawn system, and it should work with spawn system. So I don't have an awful lot of time, and then my excuse for not editing this video is so you can really see my thought process and my process of how I would tackle this. And but in all honesty, I don't have time to edit it down. All right, let's get to it. Let me just open my notes here because I already looked at it really quickly. I'm gonna delete the companions. You don't need the spawn system for companions because they'll probably be with you, right? So let's have a look first. Let's see what's happening here. So we have this green guy. He starts here and he works to this location where he starts doing jumping jacks. It's cool. We have this guard following a certain path through town. We have these guys standing still. We can go ahead and slap him. They'll follow us. They'll attack us. Try to murder us. Ah, got you first. Alright, so that's what we got. And now we want everything to work the same when we spawn them in. Now what's really nice about this pack and how it fits really well into the spawn system is that they have one base, one NPC base. So all these classes you see here, they all derive from the same BP NPC base, which is the proper way to do it in my opinion. That's why I did it that way for the spawn system. But that's great news, because that means we just have to replace the one base class. So that's going to be step one. We're going to go into the spawn system, blueprints, spawn system, structs and macros, and then into the ST spawn AI. Now let me just grab that here. As you can see here, we have the AI to spawn set to BP AI master, but we want to replace that with BP NPC base, because that's going to be our new base. That gives us access to all the child classes inside or attached to the same NPC base. So all these characters will now be able to pick in a spawn point. We can go ahead and delete this one, zombie, because we don't need that. And let's drag in a spawn location. Oh, it's a bad blueprint. But just before we go, I want to show you here. So AI to spawn, nice list. All these classes are in there, so that's great. But we broke it, of course, because we deleted a variable and we replaced another one. So when we go in there, we'll be able to directly see, okay, this all went wrong, and we'll be able to replace all the references. Now what you have to do is you have to drag in the AI spawn directly into the pawn class here. You can't use the redirection node, because the redirection node already contains the specific class information, so that won't work. We can go ahead and delete that one. And you can also go ahead and delete the set variables that you'll find after all the spawn AI classes. So let's go to the next one. Reconnect, break, break. Oh, now we need to connect this one here. Next one. Here, spawn class, replace that, it's all fine. Just go through them, delete the redirection node. Is enemy, I can delete that too. There we go. Add to spawn. Hook that up directly because these won't work. Let's keep it pretty. Next. Boom. 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 You can just go past all of these, and hopefully when we come back compile, it works, and it did. So that's great. Now in the spawn AI character, we can delete the path AI. There we go. We don't need that because we're gonna be replacing that logic anyway. All right, that also allows us to No, we won't delete it here. Sorry. So now we have this. I forgot to delete the set variables. Set variables. Set variables. There we go. Delete. Now we should be able to spawn in the AI classes. So let's have a look. Let's place the spawn point here. Bigger spawn radius. I'll move this out. And I'll set a stationary location here, facing that way. And we'll set one here, facing this way. So, step 1. We'll add a guard. That's the one we have here. Location information we can just set here. This just tells it where to spawn, because we want this one in a very specific location. And we'll add a civilian. This is going to be this guy, and we want them in a specific location, namely here. Alright, so now we should have these two guys spawn in. Let me just get all of these, put them into a folder, call it move. That good with naming. So let's drag them away. So now we can see when we move in, hey, they spawn. And when we move away, after a while, they'll despawn. Oh no, of course not, they won't despawn. We didn't set up the despawn logic yet, so. But hey, we have them spawning, so that's great. So something that we have here is this logic for despawning. And what I do here is a quick check to see if an AI is attacking the player character. Because if he's attacking the player character, I don't want to destroy him. I do not want to despawn him. I want him to stay around and fight the player character. It's going to be weird if you're going to be chased by a guard, and then because you're outside the spawn radius, he just gets deleted. So how do these guards know, or when are these guards attacking? Well, most of that logic is taken care of in the behavior tree, which makes perfect sense. And I think here, so yeah, an attack target. Basically what we can do is check if the attack target is the same as the player character. This is a single player version of the spawn system pack, so we can just compare it to the player character, because there's only one player character. By the way, if you guys are purchasing the multiplayer spawn system pack and you run into issues combining these two, let me know, because then I'll make a separate video for the multiplayer spawn system. This is for the single player spawn system. So now we have to cast to NPC base, and we have to get attack target. Yes, get attack target. And then we'll do equals get player character. So if this equals the player character, we don't want to despawn it, but we do want to remove it from spawning, because it's already in the world. So say you leave the spawn area, he doesn't get despawned because he's still chasing. But then when we come back, we don't want a new one to spawn again. So if this is false, we do a regular destroy. Just destroy them, because there's no real proper way of despawning yet. So let's try it. We walk in. Hey, there they are. We walk out, and are we not far away enough? Did I not click compile? What's going on? Oh, yes. Haha, oops. We deleted the spawn point. Not really what we were looking for. So we walk away, and there they go. They're gone. But when we come back, of course, they'll be there, etc., etc. So, but when we slap this guy, it'll follow us, and the green one will despawn because we're out of that area, and it's not important. But this guy will keep following us. But when we come back, green one will spawn, and no new red one will spawn because we're still, we still have this guy following us. All right. So that's now working more similar as the default spawn system would. That's great. Next up, this guy, the original one, would walk over to this location and start doing jumping jacks. Now, why doesn't this guy do it? That is because in the civilians, or basically in all the NPCs, there's a behavior component. You can click it here. And in there, settings are being set. So this is done in the world instance, basically. So when you drag in a character, an NPC civilian, you would set that on this specific character. As you can see, these are not the default values. So we have idle settings, idle type, max rand location distance, available workspaces, docking interval. These are all important to this guy to make him do what he does. Now, another one I brought along was initial behavior, because I thought that you would want to change that, and we'll have to change that a bit later. So we have to somehow incorporate this info into the spawn point. So we want that info here. All right, that's doable. Let's go back. Yes, so we'll want to make a new struct. So you do that by going to right mouse button, blueprint, structure, and we'll call it st idle settings. I already made one. So basically what you do is you just, let's click this guy. Basically what I did was just copy over all these settings. So we can see idle type, max rand location distance, available workspaces, docking interval. And then, like I said, I added initial behavior to the idle settings, which is the one you would normally change here. Now we have that struct, but we want to add that struct to the st spawn AI. We'll call it idle settings. St idle settings. There we go. So now, when I compile this and I click spawn location, you can see idle settings. There we go. Yeah, another tip. In the actual idle settings, make sure to set default values to 310 here, because that's that are their default values. So you want to make sure that's the same. Otherwise, you have to do it every time. And, you know, I can imagine you don't want to do that. So I set the default to 310. Sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, so this guy had random work with his work location here, VP workspace. Perfect. But we set it in the struct, but it's never really told to the actual character that we spawn. So that's the next step. We go back to the spawn location, and inside spawn AI character, we're gonna do something. After we spawn the AI, we're gonna cast to NPC base. We're gonna get the get the behavior component, and we're gonna, let me check this real quick. Oh yeah, okay, structure set there. Alright, we're gonna need the structure break and break. So basically we're gonna do all these settings. Set initial behavior. Drag it in. Oh, sorry about that. Set idle type. Drag it in. So you're gonna do this for every one of them. Pretty blueprint. So there we go. Go. And here we go. Alrighty. Copy pasta. This is a local variable. Yes. Alright. So we'll keep this out of it. And then we can collapse this to a macro. Set AI defaults. Now we have everything in here. And now we can easily add it to all the other places where we spawn AI. So drag this in, drag this in, drag this in. And in the event graph, there's also one. Oh, I already lost it. There we go. Drag this in, drag this in, and boom. Alrighty, we've got it. So now we're communicating all those defaults. So what should happen is we play, we go here, and this guy walks over here to do his work. And this is where I got stuck a little bit last time I did the recording. What actually happens is it's already taken, it's already been claimed by this guy, the previous one. So we have to delete it. So now he'll walk there, he'll do his jumping jacks, and he'll behave like the placed world instance would, because we told him those variables that were important to him. Alright, next up. Next up is the path AI. It's more of the same basically. So if you get the idea and you want to get out, that's fine, I understand. Just gonna do this additional step to show what we would do for the path AI. But it's more of the same. So if we go to his behavior component, we'll see patrol settings, and we don't have those yet. So we'll need to make a new struct. So we'll do patrol route and patrol type. And as you can see, I already have them here. I called them path settings instead of patrol settings. You know what, I'll rename it. Yes, patrol settings. So I made a struct patrol settings, and I made a patrol route, BP patrol route reference, and an enum patrol type variable. So now we need to add that to the spawn AI. Patrol route, patrol settings, whatever. I'll rename it patrol settings. And now when we compile, click. Hey, patrol settings, great. So we're gonna add one more. It's going to be guard. Idle settings are fine. Or no, initial behavior we need to set to patrol. Patrol route, we can reference this one. And then patrol type is back and forth. Alright, but once again, we've said all these things, but we've not told the instance yet that this is what he needs to do. So we can add that in the macro. Sequence. Set patrol routes. Set patrol type. And there we go. Break. Yes. Alright. So now it's all been set. We press play. I will start in a random location because we didn't set a spawn location for him. But you can see he will walk to the patrol route. And he will start going down that patrol route. Hopefully back and forth. We can wait, see what happens. And yeah, I hope that explained this a little bit, and that it's clear, and that if you want to tackle, say, the shooter example, that you know where to start and what to do. If anything's unclear, please let me know. If you have feedback for me in regards to how I explain things, please also let me know, because I want to improve on this. I enjoy doing this stuff. Hey, he goes back and forth. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck with your projects. Thanks again to the creator of the AI Behavior Toolkit. And best of luck with your projects. Hope to see you on Discord. And thank you for supporting me. All right. Bye.